This is Dingus. Dingus is a deep reinforcement learning AI cube. Dingus learns by exploring the world and seeing through a bunch of sensors, visualized on this screen as the flashing lines and spheres. And these are Dinguses, each a perfect copy of each other, unfortunately. Previously, inspired by the tale of Sisyphus, I created a simple environment for a Sisyphus Dingus to learn how to push a boulder up a hill. So then I thought, why not make the boulder really big and have many Sisyphuses? And why not make the course incredibly difficult? And that was how this new idea was born. Can the Sisyphus army work together and complete the course? Let's find out. And we're off to a rather slow start. It's going to be a hot couple of minutes before the random movements of Sisyphuses lead to them realizing anything about pushing the boulder, getting them sorts of rewards. In the meantime, they're just sort of going to randomly wander around and fall off a lot of edges, really. So we're going to fast forward for a while and see how they learn. After a little bit of time, we can see that they're nudging the boulder slightly in that direction, sometimes mostly accidentally, but it will help them to learn that the boulder going forwards in that direction is a good thing over time. Slowly over time, we can see that the boulder is more effectively going over towards the first actual challenge of the run. The very slight vertical incline. So slight that it barely shows up on screen, and so I had to put some signs there. This finally brings us to the first really interesting run after 7 minutes, which is where we can actually see a few of the Sisyphuses are, in combination, pushing on the boulder together. Sort of, a little bit. There's some attempt at very minor coordination going on, finally. Taking stock of things a little bit later, we can see that they are a bit more combined in their approach. They're all moving in generally the right direction. Okay, mostly. The moment they hit the incline, they start to struggle a little bit, but there's a bit of combined pushing here, which means it keeps getting up. They're like halfway there, you know, maybe 5% along the course, and they haven't yet actually completed even the first challenge, but this is still progress. And a bit later we have another hopeful run. They're much more united now and continuing to give it a bit of a shove. They keep trying to sort of get it up there. They're so close, but it's not quite enough. And now they've lost the complete right side and it tumbles down. Which brings us finally to this run. We see a very coordinated push at the start. Now everybody's sort of trying to push behind each other and keep each other pretty well reinforced. They are so close to cresting it, and they've done it. Finally! But they're not done yet. They keep pushing, and it looks like they might actually get it over to the right side. However, now they're sort of confused. Victory attained over the first incline. They all take a break, reveling in their success. Sisyphus will take no more work today. Job's done. Right, and so now we enter the very small turn saga, whereupon the Sisyphus army has to learn how to direct the boulder slightly in a different direction, and then straighten up its angle for the next challenge, the longer vertical incline. As Dingus has never really had to turn the boulder before up until this point, and because turning's really a team effort, this will probably take a fair bit of learning. And here's a regular speed video for some poetry in motion. After some trial and error, the Sisyphus army has gotten much better at keeping the boulder on the straight and narrow towards its next challenge, the longer vertical incline. A heroic effort, but unfortunately pushing a boulder up an incline while also keeping it steady is a lot harder than keeping it steady while you're just pushing it on a flat horizontal path. So progress has been pretty solid at this point. We're getting pretty close, and here's another run. Nice and steady up most of the incline. A huge group of them sort of gives up halfway, but the others just keep pushing. And they've crested it. A few of them figure out that nope, continuing to push is definitely a good plan. And there we go. We've now entered the big turn arc of the video. Honestly, they actually got a lot further here on their first attempt than I figured they would. The Sisyphuses will have to figure out how to coordinate big turn motions with the boulder, as opposed to the small corrections they've been doing so far. So with a few good looking runs going on, we then get this one. A terrible disaster crossing the corner as usual, and it looks like we're not going to get any further than before. However, the Sisyphuses kind of reorient themselves, and suddenly they're going back up the hill while turning. Everything's actually going pretty dang good this time. They've even got one at the bottom, sort of reinforcing the bottom so it doesn't fall down too easily. They're trying to keep it up, and we've lost one, but we're cresting over it, and hey look! We've made it halfway through the big turn. Also, we got one dingus with the sickest of flips as he descends downwards. Good run. It takes a fair bit more training to make progress here. Turning in the opposite direction now is really causing them to struggle. And as the level gets longer and longer, the opportunity to train and learn on new things gets less and less frequent. We're starting to see a bit of a new behavior from the Sisyphus army. They're beginning to try and reinforce the boulder from multiple directions to allow them to push it in one way while accommodating for the tilt on the actual stage, so that it doesn't just go careening off into the edge. We can see here they're really trying to reinforce the bottom of the boulder so that it doesn't just go down, and instead they can keep pushing it up while some other agents are continuing to push it to the side. It wasn't quite enough here, but they are getting closer. A few minutes later we get another good run. They're still trying to reinforce the bottom, but they're not quite there yet. Which leads us to this one, which again is demonstrating the reinforce the other side strategy that they're starting to learn. The boulder gets really close to the right this time instead of going down on the bottom because of all the reinforcement at the bottom. It looks like they can't save this one, but they managed to squeeze in close to the right and get it back up. And would you look at that? Now they're up to the next challenge. The tilted incline and the big drop. This entire incline is tilted very far to the left, so that they have to keep reinforcing the left side while pushing it upwards. And then at the end is a massive drop where the boulder's going to get a ton of speed, and they're just going to have to keep up and make sure it goes on the right way. And I'm not gonna lie, I expected the tilted incline to cause them a lot more trouble than it did, but it looks like they've learned most of the techniques they needed to from previous parts of the course, so I guess the drop will be the hard part instead. And with a bit more training, the army is ready to go for another attempt up the incline and drop. They actually do a really good job of reinforcing around the sides now. But the drop's going to represent a brand new challenge for them. And here we are, we've crested the top. Now it's time to go down really fast. Okay, maybe not that fast. They're struggling to keep up with the boulder, we've lost one. Okay, they managed that pretty well. But unfortunately, I think it's too far right to actually be saved at this point. Yeah, they don't know what to do. Still though, I didn't actually expect that to go so smoothly. Okay, maybe the incline and drop actually isn't that much of a difficulty spike. And just to show that they're not perfect, here's the run right after it. What the heck, guys? But then, pretty much out of nowhere, we get this run. Once again, we're over the hill and we're down to the big fast drop. The team are pretty damn well united and are steadily trying to guide it while keeping up with it. Unfortunately, we've lost most of the crew. even a crew of 4 or 5 is going to struggle to get it up. The absolute final challenge, the final ascent. So it looks like we're done here. But they haven't quite given up. They're really trying to push it over from the edge here. They're really nervous because it's near the edge, and they start really sort of holding off if they think it's going to just get pushed over the edge. They'd prefer to just not push it at all, it seems. But they managed to coerce it back around, and here they are. The final obstacle, the final ascent. A set of narrow, very high incline steps, each one getting more narrow and even steeper than the last. I don't even know if 4 dinguses can even push this up on their own. Now, no success this time, but honestly, that's not too far off. We're getting pretty close. Or so I would have said, except actually, there's a lot more time on this training montage. It's worth remembering that we got up to about halfway on the final ascent in about 203 minutes of training. Keep an eye on that training time as we go through this montage now. And finally, after so much struggling, we get this run. I actually live streamed all of this training, and I had some live reactions near the end as things got exciting, so I'll just let that speak for itself. Okay, this is good. This is good. Yep, they've compensated for the right drift. They're pushing. Surely this time. Just keep going forwards, guys. That's all you gotta do. Keep pushing forwards. Keep pushing forwards. It's fallen to the right. Just push forwards, guys. You can make it. No, not again. You can't be serious. Oh, no. You can't keep doing this to my heart. It's not fair. Okay, but for real now. Finally, we get this run. Surely this time, right? You can't keep getting that close and then disappointing, right? We had quite a few Sisyphus stack it there. I don't know if we have the numbers. Oh, no, we do. Everyone's just got to do their part. Good save from falling onto the right. Okay, there's less of you, but you can still do this. Just be brave, Dingai. We can't do it with this many men. Don't give up. Keep pushing. Come on. Oh, they managed to fix it. Come on. Just keep going up. Use the momentum, guys. Yep, you've got someone on the right. Yep, you just keep pushing. This is it, right? Surely this time. Just keep pushing up. Don't be afraid. I know there's fewer of you than before, but you could do it. Just keep pushing up. Surely this time. Surely this time. Yep, just keep going forwards. You've got it, guys. You've got it. Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes, come on. Just a little push. Come on, a little bit more. Come on, guys. No. Yes. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I'm happy. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Ironically, in spite of the fact that I need to build these courses, set up reward functions, set up hyperparameters, train and tweak, and then record, what takes these videos by far the longest amount of time is actually the editing. And unfortunately, quite a few things have come up that have sort of eaten into the time I would spend editing videos. And I'm actually working on a new project with my partner that I think will mean I have even less time to edit than before. So I'm just also asking if you know any good editors and have any contact details for them, please do let me know. I'd love to maybe work with somebody to try and actually get these videos out at any sort of decent pace. Anyway, have a great day.